Welcome back. Now, malls, hotels, restaurants, places of worship can all now open on the 8th of June, except in areas with the most number of coronavirus cases or containment zones. Now, what is this really going to mean on the ground for sectors which have been really closed for so long? Well, joining us this morning, we have Rajneesh Mahajan, the CEO of InOrbit Mall with us. We're also being joined by Professor Ajit Mishra, Director, Institute of Economic Growth. We have Meryl Pereira, the Managing Director of Pizza Hut India, and KB Kachru, Chairman Emeritus of Radisson Hotel Group, who's also the President of the Hotels Association of India, is with us as well. Mr. Kachru, let me, in fact, begin with you, if I can. All right, I can't go across to Mr. Kachru yet. Let's speak to Professor Ajit Mishra. The fact that this phase now that we are leading up to is being called Unlock 1.0, interesting change in nomenclature there, which would seem to signal the government's intentions going ahead?
Absolutely. And I think that's very important because we have a 3 extension, so we have moved down onto lockdown 4. Instead of going down lockdown 5 with more relaxations, it's better to change the trajectory, change the language of the discourse. And so I'm very pleased that we are calling it Unlock 1. Of course, there will be many restrictions in place, but going forward, we can keep unlocking. And mind you, if things get worse, we can start locking down again. So we are moving in the right direction. That's what I'll say.
Right. But having said that, it's one thing to say that, yes, hotels, malls and restaurants can open up now, but there are still strict conditions in place. Rajneesh Mahajan, give us a sense. Malls have been now completely closed for over 2 months. What is this going to mean? And the fact that not all shops can reopen at the same time, there's obviously going to have to be social distancing. Malls are also air-conditioned places, and there have been sort of worries raised about that as well. How do you see things playing out?
Thank you, Ankita. Too many questions, I would say. The close down for 2 months have impacted the revenues at a very large extent. So, and we understand that the opening will be gradual. So literally 1 quarter has gone away without any revenues coming in, and it has a financial impact on the industry. Our estimate is that close to 10,000 crore rupees of top line is what malls alone have been not able to gather every month in last 2 months. And I'm not talking about retail, I'm just talking about shopping centers. And retail, right. Organized retail is far more spread out than only in malls. In terms of air conditioning, I really don't know where it has come up from. Just to give you a perspective, if you stand outside a door on a shopping center, the minute door opens, you will find a lot of fresh, cool air coming out. And that happens because all these malls are positively pressurized inside the building, which means we throw out more than we take in our machines. And that is not a completely closed loop circuit. And we have enough and more areas where we throw air out mechanically, whether it is our food court, kitchens or toilets. So at any given time, there is 30 to 40% of fresh air coming into the building. Okay. And it is not a closed loop air circulation. Secondly, the disease is not airborne. And third, if you understand the hotels and the hospitals which are housing the COVID patients or quarantine patients, they are all air conditioned. So this complete concept, I don't know where it originated.
Fair enough. Let's not get bogged down just by that. But in terms of the shops that will now be allowed to reopen also, how financially viable, for instance, is it to have just, say, 33% of shops reopen, if indeed that's going to be the number on any given day?
Ankita, I believe it's a journey. Whether you start today or whether you start 15 days down the line, it is going to be a journey, and this journey is going to take 4 to 6 weeks to come back to normal.
Right.
And of course, if we are only 1/3 opened up, there would be limited business. There will be limited excitement for consumers. But as I said, lockdown was one shot. Opening will be gradual, and we have to be careful while doing it. It's a 4 to 6 week journey. I think things will be normal pretty soon.
Meryl Pereira, I'd like to get you in over here as well. The fact that restaurants will now open up, but again there will be sort of strict social distancing norms in place, no doubt there's going to be a reluctance on the part of consumers also to be dining out. This is not something that is going to end overnight, or the moment restaurants open up, you can't expect to see people coming out in droves to eat out, because there are going to be a lot of fears and anxieties. How does the sector go forward from here in trying to allay those anxieties, and how do you see this operating?
Thank you. So we all know that this industry has been hit very hard, and definitely the road ahead is going to be a bit challenging. However, this industry has also been the fastest to bounce back with innovative solutions like contactless delivery and contactless takeaway. If you spoke to someone 6 months ago and you said we were talking about contactless delivery and takeaway, nobody would have a clue that this was possible.
Right.
And if you look at it all over India today, we've got contactless delivery and contactless takeaway. Once our restaurants open, our next push is going to be into contactless dining room, whereby from the time you enter the restaurant, all with social distancing, to the time you review your menu, to your payment, the whole service, the whole process is going to be digital. And that's the way we're going to overcome getting into the new phase of our business.
Mr. Perera, is that, no doubt as a global chain, Pizza Hut can adopt these new practices. But on the ground, how tough do you think it's going to be for smaller restaurants, for standalone entities to try and implement all this?
There's going to be challenges for everyone, whether you are a global brand or a local brand. I think the advantages of being a global brand is you get the learnings from all over the world. And the advantages of being a local brand is you can copy the global brands, and you may be able to do it even quicker than a global brand.
Fair enough. KB Kachru is with us on the phone line, and it'll be interesting to see how hotels go forward from here. Mr. Kachru, how are hotels going to deal with these very changed circumstances?
Well, first of all, let me add to it. Lockdowns have really had a disastrous impact on our industry. We welcome government's decision to open. Although June will have a slow start, and since it's outside containment zones, I think it will be a graded revival process, but this will certainly pave the way for hotel industry. We all have to realize that tourism should be a national priority, which is hotels, restaurants, transport. I think the process will be slow, to answer your specific question, but I think it's a great move.
Okay, fair enough. I think one of the doubts that a lot of people have already expressed is the fact that many restaurants, or for that matter hotels, will not even be able to resume their operations given sort of high operating costs or rentals and low demand. Is that a worry, Mr. Kachru?
Yes, it's a big worry, because profitability is a key issue. And if you reduce number of covers, it would have problems. But these are challenges, as my colleagues have said, these are challenges. We'll have to deal with it and take it from here.
And Rajesh Mahajan, is that something you would agree with as far as the mall and the shopping sector is concerned also, that there might well be some people for whom it will no longer be financially viable to actually retain shops in high-end malls, because the footfalls just won't be able to justify their costs?
To say that it will not be viable in a high-end mall may not be the right thing. I think each retailer would have to go through and rationalize their portfolio, because in the growth phase, we all have taken bold calls and we have invested for future. There would be mistakes, and some of those mistakes will be very heavy to carry forward, and there would be correction. But that correction will only be in a high-end mall is not the right analysis, because high-end malls do provide you a very high top line, which builds in the cash flows that one gets in.
Well, one other question that's been raised is why allow restaurants while you still don't permit bars? And if any of you would like to come in on that and what that's going to mean for the sector. All right. Yeah.
Well, I don't know where this concept has emerged again, But definitely one of the perception is that when you socialize, when you drink, you are much more closer to each other and you are more friendlier. While having a formal fine dine, you may maintain little distance and each table is spread. So the way you look at a pub and the way you look at restaurant, the perception that emerges in your mind is very different. And that could be the driving for the officials to make this decision. But I hope they open up soon and we should have a good life back.
All right. We'll leave it at that. Thank you all for joining us on the show this morning and bringing us your views. We will take a very quick break at this point. And up next...